Welcome to Poker Market, making poker more efficient.
Hi guys, this is Weasel for PokerMarket.com. This is part 3 of the 12k stars grind, followed by 12k on 888. Get to find out which side is softer. Currently we are just over 1500 hands into the grind, and this is still the first day. I'm going to be playing like 2.5k a day. Pretty large 3-bet on table 3. Just going to go ahead and fold. You'll see I'm doing this a lot at these games. I'm pretty laid back about the 4-bet bluffs. They're just not really going to increase our win rate that much at these limits. Here it's a 3-way pot, but we have pretty reasonable backdoor potential. We have the 2 overs, we have the backdoor straight, we have the backdoor clubs. And this is obviously a great barrel card for a couple of reasons. Number 1, we still have great equity, 2 overs in the flush draw. Number 2, we actually have the best hand with some frequency against stuff like 8-9, Jack-9. This allows us to just check back a lot of rivers. This river is a little bit awkward because it's obviously paired. We don't have the nuts. We should definitely be value raising, but we have to be very careful in the face of a re-raise here. This is when that life can get very difficult. I think that's not good enough reason to not raise the river, but it's not a super comfortable situation. There is a chance we get re-raised here and things start to go wrong. But it's not a good enough reason not to value raise. He's min betting. He probably doesn't have the full house. I'm getting to quite a few of these similar ace-king type situations, and honestly I don't think ace-king has a huge value in this spot. I'm actually going to fold pre-flop against the 4x opens. This is not a super great spot with aces either. I'm going to value bet. Probably just going to fold immediately in the face of a raise. Expect to be 2-pair or a straight or a set or something. He doesn't have all the set combos. Some he would re-raise. Kings he would re-raise pre-flop. Usually he can have jacks or 10s. He can have ace queen. Okay, this guy min 3-bets me. Now I don't know if he's a huge fish, but he's definitely a weaker player based on his sizing. There are no regs that use this 3-betting sizing pre-flop. So I'm just going to call. We obviously get the right price. Try and flop 6. 10-7. I don't think this is a small blind defending against the button 2x. Again, we can check our trusty sheet for this. Small blind versus button 2.5x. Yeah, it's just slightly outside the defending range. It's good to just double check a few things. I mean, it seems like every time, or most of the times I've been right so far, in terms of which hands I chose to defend. But it's good to just make sure you're on target. Sometimes you find you're a few combos off. Just adjust. And partly I'm doing this because I do think it's one of the first things that players should fix. I mean, okay, there are some basic post-flop stuff we need. We need to know, how to value bet, when to value bet, when to bluff. We need to know these things, at least on a basic level. But also, we need to know which hands we should be playing pre-flop. If we don't have that right, then it's very difficult to make money post-flop unless we have a huge amount of skill. The best way to start out correctly is to make sure that we are playing the right hands pre-flop. Sounds simple, but it's very important. I think I can 3-bet ace-10 against 2.5x. And here, and we've seen a few spots like this where I'm going to mix up my play with the ace-queen. C-bet is clearly fine. And I think given he doesn't 3-bet pre-flop, we mostly have the effective nuts. I'm assuming he's not passive enough to check by ace-5, ace-2, ace-7 on the flop, so we basically have the effective nuts here. We should be value betting twice. The only way we can really lose is if he has ace-10, in my opinion, or, some hand that he's just misplayed horribly. So we have to value bet and expect to be good most of the time. Ace-10 with 3-bet pre-flop. Now this is not a super great spot for us, but we don't want to give a free card here. Although it wouldn't be that bad on this texture actually. You could check back again, but slightly prefer the small protection bet there on the turn. And if we open MP, we get 3-bet. We don't really need to be messing around in these situations too much, these limits. He probably has it, or has something decent. See over 2.1k hands, fold to 3 bets around 65. It's a shade higher than it normally is, but that's not concerning to me at all. Because even if it is slightly high exploitatively, we're the ones that are exploiting our opponents by folding a lot to 3 bets actually. Should be about 61, so I think. Just because there are good players have a fold to 3 bet of 50 does not mean that that is correct. Certainly not from theory point of view. These are a little bit close, these suited queens. I'm going to defend. I think I can just about call here. Against 2.5x, might reconsider against a 3x. Kind of miss on both tables, so I'm just going to give up on both tables. Don't need to force the action. Mentioned that a few times. 2's not so great against the half stack, obviously. I'm still going to defend. Okay, we don't get what's known as the cool 20 rule, which may be